you could comment on over the last decade, what has allowed smart water initiatives to succeed most quickly? What would you say are the key factors? Is it the people driving them? Is it the specific technologies or a desperate demand?
When we started to look at the smart water space, we did our first report on the smart water grid back in 2010. That's when the World Economic Forum came out with a report saying how water utilities were losing close to 40–50% of water in leakages and pipe bursts and the likes, right? Very interestingly, we put out a figure that, this was in 2010. We said, this market for smart water grid would be around 20 billion by 2020. And I think if you see some of the numbers and the investment going in that direction, we see that going pretty much, coming up to that mark. But in terms of what is going to drive this, I think it goes to the policy side. Everything starts with the first P of my 6P framework, right? If I look at even for example, in the UK, it is going forward, how can we do more with less? The National Water Policy document, which is there in the UK, we want to reduce the water consumption from 150 liters per person per day to 130 to 135 per person per day, right? And to do that, you will need data in terms of, what is the water consumption at every single individual household and how you can influence that, right? So interestingly, if you can see right now, every single water utility in the UK has smart water meter rollout programs in the UK. So by 2030, latest by 2035, every single household in the UK will have a smart water meter, right? And that's how these utilities will be seeing how they can influence customer behavior. But I think the biggest challenge for them, and this is what Ofwat, the regulator in the UK, is also focusing right now, is how they can drive better customer engagement once the smart water meters are in each of these individual households, right? So smart water metering is a big topic in the UK. If I move back to India, a lot of discussions here is also being focused now on smart water metering. So in the Jal Jeevan mission, we talked about the smart water quality and quantity monitoring for rural households. But gradually now you see a lot of cities in India coming with their own smart water metering strategy documents. Chennai has come out with its smart water metering strategy document. So I think one of the biggest challenges in India for the installation of smart water meters has been a lack of the 24/7 provision of water services. You need that to be actually installing smart water meters. Now we see that happening, in some of the cities like Coimbatore, Suez manages the water services for the city of Coimbatore. And even there, we are seeing the smart water meters rolled out. Nagpur is a good example. So as we start seeing cities achieving the 24/7 water services goal, then we see a lot of, smart water metering programs going out.